Hi, I'm Joel Willits. I'm professor in New Testament, and I'm standing here at Qumran on the shore of the Dead Sea here in Israel. Behind me you can see a cave and the Wadi Qumran. This is cave 4, that's right behind me. In 1947, a Bedouin found in a cave some cylinder jars. He was looking for a lost sheep and thought maybe the sheep was in a cave, so he tossed a rock in a cave and heard a crack and wondered what he had heard. Now this is the story as it's told. We're not sure exactly how these scrolls were found, but in the area behind me, 11 caves were found with scrolls over the course of the next decade or so. This particular cave is the most important one because in it were found fragments of over 800 separate documents dating from as early as the 2nd century BC into the early 1st century. And these texts that were found in this particular site range from texts that we have in our Hebrew Bible, our Old Testament. Almost every one of our texts in the Old Testament have been found among the scrolls of the Dead Sea, except Esther and Nehemiah. In addition to biblical texts, were found texts from the pseudepigrapha. These are texts that have been known elsewhere, but now we have early copies in Hebrew of these texts with names like 1 Enoch, for example. These were texts that scholars had known about for many years, but finding them now in ancient texts, documents found in this cave. And then there were a third category of documents that were never before known. We call these the sectarian scrolls. These are scrolls that seem to have related to a community. They called themselves the Yahad, that seems to, as best we can tell, have lived in and around this area. Right behind me and to the north and west is a settlement that has been excavated that's called Qumran. And apparently the people that left the scrolls in the caves lived here and worked here and exercised religious practices here in this site. This is an amazing site for a number of reasons, but one of them is how much water pools were found here, what are called mikvot. These are religious purity baptismal pools. It's remarkable in the desert to have a site that was so concentrated with these pools. And so what's one of the interesting things is how the community here gathered water from the rains that happened in the winter rainy season, and they would channel this water into these large cisterns, and then through the year they would draw on this water to practice religious ceremonies. So we learn a lot about the time of Jesus because of these discoveries of the site and of the scrolls. A couple of the contributions that these scrolls make to our understanding of the Bible and Christian faith are, first of all, because we found biblical scrolls, essentially we have been able to see that the documents that we have relied on to translate into English, the what's called the Masoretic text of the Old Testament, is very ancient. There are hardly any differences, although there are some, hardly any significant differences between the scrolls of the Bible that were found here at Qumran and what we have known in our own manuscript tradition that only dates to the medieval period. The other interesting contribution is to just learn of a theology and a perspective of a Jewish group at the time of Jesus. And so this has provided a lot of information in the context of the time of Jesus that has been helpful in interpreting specific texts of the New Testament. So this is a very important site, and I wanted to share it with you.